Hey guys, so today things are looking a little differently. I'm not in my little studio green wall background today. I thought I would sit here on my couch in sweats and my Fun Girl podcast t-shirt, which I'll give you a closer look at later, because the the purpose of this episode today is to talk about like seasonal depression and basically the crisis that I had around New Year's. So, um, this is exactly where I was last week when I should have been like putting out my episode for last Thursday, and it didn't happen because I was sitting here watching TV in despair and like self pity, and so I thought I'd give you the real information that this podcast is about versus like the BS crap that I was going to put out last week. So, last week, intentionally, I had recorded something about seasonal depression and just going into the new year with hope and setting goals and all this shit. And then basically, a few days afterwards, like the whole entirety of last week, I was just like self-destructing. And I spent days writing in this journal here, like pissing myself of like just like tearing myself down and feeling all kinds of ways about like the stuff that was on my mind, which was a hell of a lot of stuff. Um, basically, I just felt like shit. First off, like I'll give myself a little break here. I was actually ill. I got very sick last week, and so I wasn't physically really that up to like editing and doing all this stuff. But also like mentally, day by day, I was just getting drained. Um, I basically just, I don't know, man. I feel like I don't even know where to start, honestly. But we'll start on Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve is the day that I originally recorded my episode that was supposed to air last Thursday. That night, I was just so sad and lonely because my boyfriend was visiting his family, and I was at home on by myself all day, and I was supposed to go visit some of my family, but then I had a low tire, and I couldn't get air in it to go anywhere, so I just came back home. And then later that night, I don't really want to get into the details of it, but like had a little family drama, and like it didn't have anything to do with me, but I got kind of dragged into it, and it's late at night, and it's just like this is really depressing. Like, this is an example of what my life is like all year. That it's Christmas Eve, the night before Christmas, and like I'm being dragged into this chaotic situation. So that was really, really annoying to have to deal with, but also like that was probably the start of the spiral because I'm just like, wow, it doesn't get better than this. Doesn't get any more real than this right here. So there's that. But also, Christmas Day, it wasn't terrible, but I was feeling a little conflicted about a different family situation, and So I went to do something about it. Basically, like there's a family member that I haven't really spoken to in a long time, and I heard that they were reaching out, and I felt a little conflicted about what to do. So I went up by them, but didn't really say anything, and I felt a little disappointed about that. Like, what was the point of me going up there if I couldn't even say what was needed to be said? But now I'm just giving myself a little grace because that was a lot to deal with. But um, I just walked away from that, just like, what did I even just do that for? Um, I feel like I gained nothing from that, and I gave this person hope that there's like something to be mended, to be worked on, and I'm not even sure that I even feel that leaving from that situation. So there was all this family stuff on my mind, and I was fortunate enough to go like spend the rest of Christmas with my boyfriend, and like we went to like a really good friend of mine. We spent the holiday with like her and her family who have really embraced us. Um, but I don't know, like that was really nice. And for a few hours there, my mind was just like at ease and at peace. Then the next day, um, it was, I don't know, like, uh, there are a lot more reasons why I feel like I was disappointed with Christmas, but I don't really want to sound too ungrateful. It's just, sometimes it's one of those things where you give out and you don't get back what you gave. Basically, it's just not equal at all. And it's disappointing sometimes when you put effort into stuff and you don't really get the same back. No matter how much you've experienced that, it sucks. So that's something that I was kind of dealing with on Christmas and the day after Christmas a little bit. But um, aside from that, it was also just like I'm really starting to not feel well. Physically, like the cold was starting to get to me. And then had to go back to work for like 3 days, and I was not excited about that at all. And, that's just because of like who really wants to go back to work after being gone for a while, and then just like some other personal stuff that I deal with. I'm at work and it was not the best. I didn't feel well. It was just a lot going on. And so I had called out. I basically had to work 3 days of last week, and I called out on the third day because at that point, like, I was just too sick. It wouldn't be fair to the people around me to go in knowing that I was that sick, and then I also need to give myself a break. Like, I really did. So I'm sitting at home and, like, just being sick, basically, not doing anything. And that's when I really gave room for the intrusive thoughts to come in. And the seasonal depression hits. Like, this sucked. Like, this holiday season really sucked. My family situation is shit, and therefore, like, the aftermath of the holidays, you think you might feel this relief. Well, it was like the opposite for me. The aftermath is that this situation really fucking sucks. And then on top of that, I'm dealing with like, okay, well, this, I don't have to worry about it. New Year's is coming up and you're feeling really hopeful. You got all these things that you want to do, and like, make this vision board and take time to write in your journal, and then you get to be at home until the new year comes basically. So just relax and chill out. No. I was starting to go insane. I'm sitting on this couch right here, binging Breaking Bad and watching TV every day and just feeling so lonely. And like, so the thing that sometimes I feel guilty about is that I feel lonely even though I live with my boyfriend. And that's something that we've talked about, and maybe I'll talk about in like a different episode. But you can definitely feel that way, whether you're living with a best friend, your family, a significant other. Like, I'm feeling lonely in this because he's okay and I'm not. And I'm not going to drag him down with my stuff, but also he can't fully understand what I'm feeling and what I'm dealing with right now. So I can't even like begin to talk about it. I'm just existing and pretending, essentially. So aside from that, I am not doing anything positive. Just letting these intrusive thoughts take over my mind and just possess me into this deep despair. And I'm not really contacting anyone, not any friends, not any family. I'm just losing hope. All that hope and that effort that I was feeling going into the new year, like, I didn't end up making a vision board, and I was really excited about that. I got magazines, and I thought I would do that, like maybe with a friend or by myself. I didn't do the vision board. I didn't write down my hopes and wishes. I didn't do a deep clean like you see on TikTok. I didn't deep clean my house. I didn't deep clean my car. I didn't do my laundry before January 1st. Like, I just sat here and did nothing except wallow away, basically. And um, I don't know, like, that's happened to me before with the depression that I've dealt with and just all the things, you know, that's happened to me before. So I'm used to it, and I try not to let it win, but like, it was winning. And so me and my boyfriend are having this talk about what's going on with me because it's the day before New Year's, and I felt like I'm at my absolute worst. I had wrote, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages worth of like me shitting on myself about what I haven't done, how I failed this year, all the toxic things I've had to deal with my family and myself, and who I've cut off, and what I don't have going for myself heading into the new year. I didn't do anything positive to uplift myself. And, you know, I'm human, and I'm somebody who I struggle with my mental health every now and then. So that's real. I was really starting to get upset watching all these TikToks and like all this stuff of people being so happy and deep cleaning and making all these inspirational posts, and I tried to do one of them to motivate myself, and it didn't do anything for me. So as I'm like just sitting here watching TV, watching TikToks, I started to get even more upset and more annoyed with myself that I could just get up and do these things, maybe make myself feel better. But I didn't because I knew that it wouldn't do anything for me, and I had no energy, no motivation whatsoever. And I also started to feel really upset because I'm like, no one around me is noticing that I am withering away. No one has noticed. And that kind of sucks for me because, you know, like most people, you want the people around you that you care about to notice and try to help you, but then also that is not fair. And that's something that is taking me years to grasp through maturity and like therapy, but you can't be upset at people for not noticing, because we're all dealing with our own stuff, and like, you know, not everyone is equipped to know what to do in situations like that. But I I was starting to get upset that no one was noticing. Um, I don't know. I just didn't really know what to do with that. And then it was like next thing I knew it. It was like 10 minutes before midnight of New Year's, and I had to work the next day at 5 a.m. and it's like 11:51, and I'm just like under my covers, and I'm just like so sad and feeling like hopeless. And I'm so disappointed that I spent my New Year's that way, but I couldn't pull it together. Like, I just couldn't. I talked about my feelings and stuff with my boyfriend, and he does the best he can, and he's someone who is in my corner and supports me and everything, but I just couldn't pull it together, and I dealt with that alone. And that is the hardest part, and sometimes I wonder if I'll ever really truly get over that. When the holiday season comes around, am I ever really going to be okay? I think I'm going to be someone until maybe my adulthood, if I end up having my own family or having truly like a great group of people around me. I think I will be one of those people who suffers with seasonal depression my whole life. I think it's something about the coldness and the loneliness and everything that the holidays are supposed to mean, with family and friends and joy and gift giving and receiving. Like, all of that makes me really fucking sad because I don't have a healthy family, and I'm still trying to learn how to enjoy the holidays like I used to when I was a kid, even though I don't have basically any of that stuff that made the holidays special back then. And it's just, the world is different, I'm different, my situation is different. Um, so, I basically just want to say, as far as that, like, I know that so many people deal with seasonal depression, and something that really got me this year as well. I won't speak too much on it because I don't know that much about the facts or the person, but um, Twitch, he's like a celebrity. He used to be on Ellen. That's what I mostly know him from. I just, like everyone else, mostly associated him with a very bubbly, happy personality, always smiling, laughing, dancing, that kind of thing. And to see that he, you know, oh gosh, it feels so weird to just say that out loud, but like, basically, like, unalive yourself. I forget whether it was a few days before or after Christmas. It's so sad, and it goes to show you how many of us, whether you think that this person is so happy and got so much going or whatever, so many of us are dealing with seasonal depression and depression in general. We're struggling with our mental health, and we don't know what goes on in one person's space to the next unless you really reach out and just share love and just try to be there for one another. You really don't know. Um, so that was just like so hard to see. And that, I think, also didn't help me with my own shit, because I see that stuff in the media sometimes, and then it makes me reflect on myself because I have a past with that, personally. So I don't know. I just feel like this is something that I'm gonna have to deal with every year. And if you're one of those people too, like, you are not alone in this. And I'm so sorry that it has to be like this. Um, Maybe one day we can create our own families and just accept our situations for what they are, and just find a way to be happy and have the holidays feel like something special again and mean something. So, um, there's that. But also, I think there's this big, like, which good for them. And maybe one day I will be one of these people. But I don't think personally I've ever truly celebrated a new year. Like, I've never really rung a new year in properly with, like, celebrating or being happy or, like, whatever. I've never really celebrated the new year properly. So, I don't know how to do it, honestly. I know what I see. I know what I see people post. I see from movies and stuff, but is that real? And this goes back to, like, what it means to really be fun and how to do fun things. Like, is it really that fun? Like, would I personally really have that much fun staying up all night in the cold outside, like drinking or waiting to see a ball drop outside again in the cold? Or would I just be happy, like, being inside, maybe having a drink or two, or just doing whatever with, like, a friend or, like, my boyfriend or just whoever I choose or don't choose to spend that time with? Like, would that be okay? I know it is. Whatever I choose to do, maybe next year, but this year I just didn't do anything like fun, like most people would say. But to me, maybe I just needed that recovery time. My new year was spent trying to pick myself up from, like, the despair and sadness I felt following the holidays. So, if you're one of those people too, that you were having like an existential crisis on New Year's instead of being out celebrating, or you didn't do jack shit like deep cleaning and you just were lazy and enjoyed your last little bit of time left before having to go back to work or school or service or whatever it is that you do, then, like, cheers to us, because that is okay too. It's totally fine. And again, it's just one of those to each your own things. Like, you don't have to feel like you're not fun because you didn't do that stuff that most people do. And that's okay. But for those people who did do those things and they enjoyed it and they had a fun time with themselves or with the people around them, then that is great for you too. And it's just, we all have our own definition of fun. And, you know, we have to accept who we are while also working on ourselves at heart. I'm not one of those people who can just, like, put my mental health aside to pretend I'm having fun for a night. I just can't do that. So I didn't. And I think that's okay. I know that's okay. And maybe someone else out there who needed to hear that will now hear that through me, but it is what it is. So, with all that being said, seasonal depression sucks. And just because, like, the holidays are over doesn't mean it ends. Really, for me and for a lot of people, it stretches throughout the entirety of winter, like the cold and the loneliness, the inclement weather keeping you from, like, seeing people and going to work and doing your normal things. And on top of it, it's just also so sad to see the amount of accidents and tragedies that have happened due to the inclement weather that we had over the holiday time. That is really fucking shitty. It really is. And my heart goes out to those people who experienced that. So again, it doesn't just end here because we're in January. And another thing as well, you know, it's good to start a new chapter and to try to be better than you were previously. But just because it's January 1st doesn't mean that you instantly have to pick up and, start this whole new brand new personality, or immediately start these habits that you know that take time to actually achieve. It takes a while to get a habit down. To create a habit, you have to get into routine. So don't be too hard on yourself, people, and don't try to pretend like it's so easy for a TikTok or for an Instagram reel or a post. You don't have to put that pressure on yourself, and you shouldn't really share those unrealistic expectations to people. So I know that I'm still kind of working on my goals and trying to allow myself the grace to pick myself up and move forward to have a better year this year than I did last year. But it's okay. It's going to take me a couple days, maybe a week or two, who knows. But I'm trying, and that's all I really can do because, once again, I'm human and it's okay. So, I don't know. I kind of really like this setting here. I love my green wall and everything. Maybe I'll try it again back there, but I really like this comfortable setup I had going on here. But oh, before I forget, I really, really wanted to encourage you. One thing that I have been doing, and it is part of my resolutions, is journaling. I have 2 journals here. I have a bunch of planners now. Journaling has really, really been so helpful to me. It gets my thoughts out, and I know that might sound corny for some people, but it's actually great. It's private. I really like writing. So this, for me, is perfect. It's a healthy outlet in between me being able to talk to my therapist or being able to vent on this podcast. So if you're someone who's looking for a healthy a healthy outlet to let your emotions loose and do something constructive, this could be a New Year's resolution for you. Buy a cute journal and a reliable pen or a pack of reliable pens and just write whatever. Whether you want to write a song, a poem, you want to write stories, just talk about your feelings, make lists, do a little creative aesthetic journal setup that you saw from TikTok or YouTube, whatever. Let it be yours. These are mine. I have a journal for ideas for the podcast and for business and goals. And then I have a journal for my feelings and thoughts. And so that's a healthy way for me to keep these things separate, but also let it out. So if you really sat here and listened to this whole thing, I appreciate it so much because thus far in the season for Fun Girl Podcast, season 1, I think this is the most real and important episode that I've done. I'm just so grateful to be able to do this. And I also just want to ask a question. I'll give you this close-up of the Fun Girl Podcast shirt that I had customized. If we did something like this, where I sold merch like this, or like my cups, which I will bring out in a second. If I did that, would you guys buy it? Would you listen and tune in like you are now reliably? I'm so sorry. I'm about to go grab the cups so that you can see if you would actually buy it. Hold on. Okay, so I'm back. But yes, this wine glass right here, which I hope you can't see the water stains on it, but this right here, would you be willing to buy it? Do you like it? I know some people have given me compliments about it, but I just really want actual reactions. This tumbler cup, if we did an actual merch drop thing, with this, would you get it? Do you like it? I don't know. These were gifts for me. These are awesome, but some people have kind of gassed me up on the idea, maybe, and a shirt, or if we did sweatpants or whatever, would you? But anyways, again, if you sat here and listened to this whole thing and took something away from it, I'm so grateful for that. But how did you celebrate the new year? Did you do anything exciting? Were you outside? Were you drinking? Were you celebrating? Or did you kind of do it like me, you just stayed in, kind of had a crisis, or just didn't do anything, the New Year's not really that special to you, or you didn't really have anyone to celebrate with, so you didn't think of anything to do, let me know, because again, I always like to see what other people have to say, and it gives me some clarity and some what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have the word in my mind right now. Basically just opens my mind up a little bit to things that I haven't considered for myself. So let me know. But I am very, very grateful. Thank you for sitting in this one, and I will see you in the next episode.